Hello everyone, my name is Tiberius Downbringer, and I am back with another video for you today. The last one I did, I went over pretty much all the tools I have that I use during my healing sessions when I'm performing Reiki. And I decided that I wanted to start breaking it down for you I figured that the easiest way to do it would be to go through each individual chakra of the basic chakras, from the root to the crown, and I split off all of the stones that I have for each individual chakra. So today we're going to start with the root chakra, and I'm going to go through the stones that you saw and which ones do what, and I'm going to go over the properties for each one of them and so forth and so on, so you can have a great understanding of what each one of these particular stones do. And hopefully, if any of this information resonates with something you feel you want or need in your life, then you'll have an idea of where to start. Okay? So, first off, you're going to notice that the majority of the stones that I have that are associated with the root chakra are going to either be of a red color or of a black color. And that's most common, but not always. And I'm mentioning that now because the first stone I'm going to go over is Bloodstone. And Bloodstone is neither of those colors. It's green, actually. I have two right here, so I'm gonna show them. Gonna show them to you real quick. Hopefully the sun's not too bright. Oops. Well, that one's done. But still getting used to the camera. Let me see if I can. There we go. Okay, that gives you a little bit better, even though it's a little shiny. But yeah, they're pretty much this green color. These two that I have are not the usual kind. Let me see if I can show you this. Okay, so you see like those dark specks in there? Alright, that's usually red, but it's challenging to see in these two stones. Usually Bloodstone you'll see is of a darker green than this, and will have like blood red specks or lines or patterns or whatever going through the stone itself. These are tumbled, meaning they're smoothed, so they probably look a little different. If it was a rough piece of Bloodstone, the color differentiate, the different colors would be more noticeable. But anyways, so these are Bloodstone, and I'm going to read from my notes here because the information I'm going to give you is a lot of information, and I cannot remember it all off the top of my head because I have not been doing this for like decades or anything. So with Bloodstone, the properties of Bloodstone are that it can be used to purify and detoxify the body and blood, hence Bloodstone. It's great for grounding negative energy, brings clarity and understanding, and increases energy and strength. Now the grounding part, pretty much all root chakra associated stones are great for grounding because it's your root chakra. Technically it's the closest chakra to the ground. Grounding is like, if you're ever feeling frazzled or anxious or something of that nature, or you just feel like airy or flighty kind of thing, it usually can mean that you're not grounded energetically. And there's a lot of different ways that you can ground, which I could probably make a whole video about, but I'll try to give a quick rundown. Stones of this particular nature help with grounding because it will take that energy that's making you ungrounded and will absorb it into itself, which will assist you in grounding. Another way of grounding that I like to do if I have the chance, and I promote more, is to actually go barefoot out in nature. You know, and you don't have to like go for walks through the woods barefoot unless you're really comfortable with that. I wish I could do that, you know, but just standing in grass or on ground, earth, gravel, whatever, you know, is earth. Asphalt, that doesn't really work. Cement doesn't really work. You know, it's got to be actual ground, hence why it's called grounding. And just stand out there for like, you know, I would say 20 minutes if you're in a hurry. If you have more time, do an hour. If, you know, our lives were, you know, more easily manageable, I would say that every day at least an hour outside grounding, you'd be really good, you know. But anyways, I'll move on from that. So that was Bloodstone. Where is it? Ah, yes. In my last video, I showed you this shiny beauty here, my black obsidian sphere, right? Now, again, good for grounding. It is a stone of... It is a stone of protection, repels negativity, blocks psychic attack, and there's a few on this list that specifically mention protection and blocking psychic attacks. It's a gift of prophecy or scrying. I'll get more into that in a second. It detoxifies, reduces arthritis, and provides deep soul healing. Now, with the scrying part, I've only been exposed to that kind of knowledge a little bit, but there was a time last year when I worked at a holistic store that I learned about it. And there was, you see how big this one is? Like, it's like a baseball size, and it fits in my hand like that. Well, I came across one that was the size of like, maybe like a soccer ball or something. It was this big. And it had some weight to it. It definitely was a little bit heavy, but it was smooth and shiny just like this. But that could be used as a tool to scry, or, you know, delve into other people's lives. Scrying usually means most of the time you're looking into places where you normally wouldn't be able to. I don't want to put the word spying associated with it, but most of the time that's what you're doing when you're trying to scry. And that's more, not that I want to really classify or categorize it, but that's more like witchcraft kind of stuff. And that's all their own thing. There's positives and negatives to every type of thing you want to call it, you know, whether it's witchcraft, druidcraft, warlocks, wizardry, pagans, Wiccans, this, that, the other. It's all just labels for generally the same thing, but it helps certain people understand things better for a time. So that's kind of how they label it. But anyways, I'm doing that thing where I go talk about something else again. So I'm not worried about this ever scrying on me, because I know better. And I don't use it for that because I don't know how to. And from what limited knowledge I have is, if you don't know what you're doing when you're scrying, you could mess yourself up pretty badly. But that's all I'm going to say about that. So aside from an additional warning of just don't try scrying, I'm going to move on. So I'll put this one away. The next one I'm going to bring out is the other big piece I had that I showed you in the previous video. This sucker. Yeah. This is black Tourmaline. A raw, rough piece as well. Yes. Now the obsidian piece I had was very smooth and rounded, but obsidian itself is a particularly smooth stone. It pretty much comes from, volcanic activity. So it's kind of like black glass. But anyways, I'm talking about this stone now. So you got black tourmaline, and what this baby can do is it can transmute negative energy, protects from negative entities and psychic attack, like I said in the previous one. Grounding, guards against radiation and EMF, or electromagnetic frequencies. Examples of that would be Wi-Fi. That seems to be all around us all the time. If you're one of those people that's concerned with 4G, 5G, 6G, and so forth, this is one of the sources you can use to assist with that, to help reduce, negate, block, whatever, protect, however you want to do it. So that's why when I'm working on someone and I feel they need it, I'll place this between their ankles, and while I'm pushing all that energy out of their body, whatever dense energy, that's a word I just made up, that, you know, I'm trying to get out of there, you know, will get absorbed by this and will get transmuted, I assume, into something positive, but it doesn't really state. It's just not going to remain negative or dense energy. So that's why I like this stone, but I think I've mentioned it before. These particular kind of stones, and I'll probably mention it at the end of the video, you want to cleanse regularly. Any black stone that's, you know, about all its properties generally have to do with absorbing not so good energy or blocking it. Those are ones you're probably going to have to cleanse on a regular basis. It depends on how much crap you're putting up with from people like that, but whatever. Let's move on to the next stone. Okay, so Mookieite. Yes, Mookieite. That's what these are called. Now these stones, the chakras that they are associated with are based on the color of the stone. The two that I have are red stones, so they are associated with the root chakra. But I've seen orangish ones. I've seen like mustard yellow Mookieite, and I have no doubt that there's probably other colors it's associated with, but I haven't seen them, at least in the capacity that I've done this kind of work. So Mookieite, it promotes strength and vitality, increases life force energy, helps to accept change and seek new experiences, get in touch with intuition, self-confidence, motivation, and focus on specific goals or goal. Alright, so that's Mookieite. Next we have Shungite, another black stone. I have these two pieces right here. Try to get a little bit closer. Yeah. Still trying to learn how lighting works with cameras. But it's black, so it's not like you're not missing much. But these I will... Yeah. Where's the smooth side? Okay, yeah. These, I would place them like... Alright, wait. Like if the person's laying straight down on the table, I would place them like right around the thigh bone area here. And that's close enough to the root chakra to do its work. What are these? And sorry if the camera's a little shaky. You know, I'm on a table with a laptop. So, anyways. So Shungite, protection, purification, protects against EMF, again, just like black Tourmaline. They both work to protect against electromagnetic frequencies and such like that. If you have satellite TV, the signals that come in to the satellite, that's another example of EMFs. Pretty much anything internet based, so forth and so on. You pretty much get the idea. It aids in detoxification of the body, reduces inflammation. Grounding removes negative energy, like all black stones, and eases tension and anxiety. So if you're one of those kind of people that are always anxious, look up some Shungite. You can't go wrong with it. Alright, moving on to the next page. Ooh, this is one of my favorite stones, and I have a bunch of them. Alright, so this next one we're going to look at if I can get a good angle here, is red tiger's eye. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Good coloration. Okay, now you can't really see it because of the way I have my hand placed, but I have 9 of these babies, and I love them. Okay, so what does red tiger's eye do? Number 1, it motivates and stimulates sex drive, vitality, and passion. Yes, that's actually the main reason why I got these, and I'll explain that story later if we have time. Enhances confidence and self-esteem, opens one to unconditional love. Now the thing about red tiger's eye is it's pretty much, it comes from regular tiger's eye, which is gold tiger's eye. Gold tiger's eye, which I'll show in another video, is tiger's eye in its natural state. Red tiger's eye, and there's I think a blue and possibly a green tiger's eye, but I know there's a blue one as well, is what's called a manufactured stone, meaning that dye was added to it, or it was put through some kind of heated process to make the colors and appearance appear differently. I'm not trying to make it sound like there's anything wrong with that. You know, it still does its job. It's just, it's kind of like if you're doing like an alchemical process where you transmute like lead to gold, right? You're not really damaging the item itself. You're just changing the properties of it so it does something else. So there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, red tiger's eye is, it's not in its natural state. It went through some kind of process to become what it is. But put that aside. Alright, red jasper. So I only have one piece of red jasper, and it just looks like a red stone. I know. But not to depreciate the value of it, not to make it sound like it isn't special. All stones and crystals are special. They all have special properties. This one facilitates shamanic journeying and dream recall. Very grounding, promotes quick thinking and organization. A protective stone, cleans and stabilizes the aura, detoxifies and promotes justice. I can't quite explain that one, how that works, but that's one of the properties of the stone itself, is that it promotes justice. So if you're dealing with legal issues and you feel like you're in the right, or you know you're in the right, maybe you just get yourself a little pouch full of these suckers, and I don't know, not hope for the best, but maybe it'll turn things around for you. Maybe you'll win that court case or whatever it is that you feel you need justice for. But other than that, yeah, facilitates shamanic journeying and dream recall. That's actually, when I was doing the research for this to prepare for this video and I saw that, I was like, huh, you know, I definitely need to set this one aside, which I'm going to do now, because I'm working on shamanic journeying, and I've been doing lucid dreaming and dream journals and such for several years now. But lately, and this is kind of a phase I go through every like 6 to 8 months, like I'll have times where I recall all my dreams with great enhanced detail, and the next day I'll spend like several hours writing them all down because there's so much information. And then I'll go through like several months at least where I have little to no dream recall at all. And I've kind of been in that phase right now, so if this will help with that, I'm going to set it aside just for that purpose. So, going to move on to the next stone, Hessianite Garnet. Hessianite Garnet. It is also red. Okay. Yeah. This is also a tumbled piece. I mean, I've already explained that. Any stone that looks smooth like this and is shiny, I'm not going to say that there aren't natural stones that come like that, but the majority of the time these stones come out looking rough, you know. So any that are like this all have been gone through a tumbling process, why they're called tumbled, and to get that kind of pretty look. But anyways, Hessianite Garnet opens intuition and psychic abilities, used for out-of-body journeys, carrying you to your destination and keeping you grounded to your body. Reduces infertility and impotence. Always a positive. So, again, this has to do with journeying. Just like the red Jasper had to do with shamanic journeying, this has to do with out-of-body journeyings, which, when you do that, a lot of people, when they describe themselves doing out-of-body journeying, they'll mention how they see their astral body and they see their physical body, and they'll notice like a silver cord that's going usually from their midsection to... Sorry, the camera went away. It went to sleep mode. So it usually mentions how there's a silver energetic cord that goes through the midsection of your physical body to just some part of your astral body, and that is literally your energetic tether to yourself. And a lot of people worry about somehow getting disconnected from it, which apparently can happen. And if it does, I'm not going to say you're lost, but you're no longer connected to your physical body. Your physical body won't die off like immediately. It's kind of like you're in a coma. But unless you know of some way or get lucky and get yourself reconnected to your physical body, it could be bad. So this apparently helps with that, so that is much less likely to ever occur. But if you do get into astral traveling or out-of-body traveling, just don't mess with your silver tether. Just, it's there, great, no problem. As far as I know, really no outside influence can just show up with like a pair of astral scissors and there you go. I mean, some people might argue with me that that's not true, but I don't believe that's true. It's all about intention. If you don't want it cut, if you don't want it disconnected, it's not going to happen. But anyways, that's a topic for another discussion, and I want to try to keep this video short. So let's move on to the next one. Hematoid Quartz, or Hematoid Quartz, however you want to mention it. Where are they? There they are. Okay. So you see those silver grayish black flakes in the stone? Like, the stone itself is quartz, but those flakes are hematite mixed in with the quartz. Why it's called Hematoid Quartz. It removes negative energy by transmuting it into positive energy, which a lot of root stones do that kind of work. Grounding, balances mind, body, and spirit. Enhances focus and concentration, and is apparently wonderful for ADD or ADHD. If you believe in those kind of things. I personally do not. I think it's another scam of society and such like that. Alright, so I went over Hessianite Garnet, but now we're going to go over regular garnet. I don't want to call it regular, it's garnet. So I have 3 pieces here. 2 of them are garnet in its rough form. Right? It pretty much looks real rocky, stony kind of thing, with little bits of red and pink that you can see in there. And the 3rd piece I have is one that has been cut, or had all the rock stone parts taken off of it, and it's smoothed out, tumbled, and all that. But it's a deep red. The light, yeah, even with if you shone a light on it, you couldn't see all the way through it. That's how deep red this thing is. But yeah, that's garnet. What does garnet do, my friends? Well, first off, it is apparently associated with not just the root chakra, but the solar plexus and the heart chakra as well. It's a stone of love and passion, gives courage and confidence, boosts energy. It guards against depression and melancholy, brings constancy to friendships and success to businesses. So, yeah, that's a good stone. Aragonite. Now, sadly, the piece of, I don't want to say sadly, but the piece of Aragonite I have is a tumbled piece of Aragonite. And to me, it looks kind of like some swirly cheesecake slice that you get like some kind of fancy restaurant. I know that sounds silly, but I don't care. But that's what it looks like when it's tumbled. I really wish I had a piece of, regular rough Aragonite, because it looks nothing like this. It's this weird stone. It has all these weird brownish orangish little pillars coming off of it. It looks almost alien, the stone. If I ever get a chance to get a piece, I might get it just so I could show it to you or whatever. But let's see, what does Aragonite do? It teaches patience and acceptance. It combats oversensitivity, anger, and stress, as well as dis-ease. I'll get more into that in a minute. Brings tolerance and flexibility, strengthens the immune system, and helps muscle spasms. Which, yeah, muscle spasms, I've kind of been experiencing that with my eyes. It likes to twitch every few weeks. It starts doing it for no reason. It's getting warmer because of spring, so like when I sleep at night, if my legs are hot under the blanket, they'll start spasming. I do not like that. It will keep me up for hours. So I might actually, you know what? I might actually put this in my pillow when I sleep at night. So its properties, its energies will work on me while I'm sleeping. Alright. Let's see, how many do we have left? Oh, apparently we only have a couple left, which is good because I want to try to keep this at 30 minutes or less. So next is Ancestralite. Now this one, the lighting might actually help, because you can almost see it. There is, at the top there, you can see there's like this redness inside of it, and right about there is some. There we go. I don't want the light on it, but that's apparently the only way you can really see the color differences. And in the middle is more like a blackish silver, but when you're not in the light, that's all you pretty much see is like the shiny blackish silver part, and you can tell there's other parts, but unless you put it into a light, you won't actually see the redness, the deep redness that's in the stone. And this one is not just associated with the root chakra, but the Earth Star chakra as well. What is the Earth Star chakra? I'm glad you asked. There's actually a chakra below your root chakra. If you were to see like an image of, a person's body with all the chakras aligned, this chakra would actually be like a foot under the ground, like when you're standing, So that's why it's called the Earth Star chakra. It's pretty much grounded all the time, So when most people try to do like root exercises, grounding exercises and such, they'll focus or visualize their root chakra like sinking into the ground and spreading out roots into the ground, rooting yourself. But you have your Earth Star chakra, which, is already rooted. So I haven't done a lot of work with the Earth Star chakra. I only learned about it last year because of material like this, so, but that's cool. So Ancestralite, like literally Ancestralite. And a lot of its properties are going to make a lot of sense why it's called this. Helps ground energies of the past into the now. Helps bring forth issues from the past/past lives and one's ancestral lineage so they can be healed and dealt with. Release of karmic energy, which, a lot of karmic energy comes from past events. Could be this lifetime or previous lifetimes. And helps with blood disorders, which this would be a good combination with Bloodstone. A prime example for that would be, last year we were helping a woman who we knew that has dialysis. She has to do dialysis each week because of her kidneys. I want to say we suggested Bloodstone to her, and the other woman that I was working with suggested Ancestralite. Yeah, that's just one example. I might make a video just on that in the future, you know, once I get done with the chakra videos. I'm going to do that first. So, anyways, I have one more stone left that is associated with the root chakra that I use. I'm not saying that these are the only stones in existence that have to do with the root chakra. This is like a fraction of what's out there. But this is what I have. These are what I use in my tools of, you know, Reiki healing and such. And this baby is called Mahogany Obsidian. And I think it's obvious why it's called Mahogany Obsidian, because it literally looks like what mahogany wood looks like. It has the brown stripes going throughout it like that. This is a beautiful piece. I believe this was gifted to me by a previous girlfriend, and I appreciate her. She was awesome. And this is a really good stone. This one is associated with the root, sacral, and solar plexus, so the lower three chakras. And this one has a lot of words. So let's see. Allows a cleansing and purification to take place so that you can release your negative patterns and energetic implants, as well as negative energies that are disrupting the flow of your creative energies. That's just one property. Grounds and protects, shielding you from negative psychic attacks. Another one that does that. Yeah, Blackstone. They all seem to protect from psychic attacks. Promotes focus on the abundance in your life, whatever that form that abundance takes, you know, because there's more forms of abundance than just financial abundance. Helps to let go of feelings of lack or dissatisfaction, and aids in facilitating healing from sexual trauma, especially from one's youth. That's actually the main reason why I wanted to get this stone, was because a particular person I was working on, I know that they have those kinds of scars or wounds or traumas from their past that I wanted to work on with them. And so I specifically looked up stones that focused around that, and this was one of the ones that came up at the top of the list. And so that's what I did. I got it for her to use on her session, and not that should really be weird or anything, because we don't like to really think about it, we don't like to talk about it, but the truth is that the majority of human beings in existence right now have, at some time in their life, suffered some kind of sexual abuse or trauma, whether it's a small account, a big account, one time, multiple times, this, that, the other. There are people that have yet to experience anything like that, and good for them. Maybe that's not what they're supposed to be learning about in this lifetime, but they're, as much as we don't like it, as much as no one should have to go through that, it's providing some kind of learning experience for us souls. All of us are trying to learn how to heal from particular kinds of traumas and certain amounts of trauma. You know, if you suffer a huge amount of trauma, it can drive someone to not want to be around anymore and leave. You know, whether that's through some physical mean that I don't really want to talk about, or whether they do this thing where they, what's it called? If you've ever heard of walk-ins, you'll know what I'm talking about, but that's something even recently I came across. Walk-ins are like, say one soul comes in, incarnated into this one body, and that soul just wants to check out for whatever reason. There might be like a soul contract or some kind of agreement, or something happens to where one soul will leave the physical incarnation that's there, and another one will come in and literally walk in and take over that physical body. And there's a couple people out there. There's one woman on YouTube, I cannot remember her name, but She did a few videos. She goes by a totally different name. She goes by the name she knows herself as in a different life. But she apparently has a completely different personality. I want to say that her boyfriend and her had to break up because she was literally a whole nother person. She was not the person that he was dating. And it took her months to adjust to this society, this world, this reality, the rules here, everything. Because apparently the soul that walked in was not used to this kind of setup. So it was like being born all over again, except you already kind of knew a language, kind of knew the basics of life, but you kind of had to figure it all out all over again. So yeah, that's what a walk-in is. Why did I get off on that subject? Anyways, sorry about that, even though it sounds cool, I'm sure, but this is my video about the stones I have associated with root chakras. Let's see. Pretty much all root chakra stones that are associated with the root chakra are usually either red or black, or a combination of both, or whatever, but not always. Pretty much every root stone is good for grounding and protection from not so good energies, and just protection in general. Like if you had to label it with one word, protection would be the word, especially for the black stones, but pretty much all root associated stones are good for protection. And that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful, and whatever, if you listen to it, you learned something, maybe you listened to it and something I mentioned to you resonated with you, you picked up something that will help guide you to find something that may be bothering you. Maybe some of these stones will help you find some kind of healing and stability in your life, and all that good stuff. So if you're still here with me, I appreciate you. I thank you for watching my video and exchanging this time and energy with me, and I would like to express my gratitude to all of you for just being a part of this world and this experience. It's a pretty awesome experience. Once you start seeing the real true beauty of everything, a lot of the ugliness starts to just melt away and disappear. Anyways, have a great day, and I will see you in my next video where I go over the stones that are associated with the sacral chakra. So I'll see you then.